rock sort of stuff. Hey everybody, welcome to John's Guitar Lounge. I'm Johnny Stewart, and today I'm going to show you 5 ways to play a G chord on the guitar. Now this is the G chord revisited in John's Guitar Lounge because, as you may know, my most popular video by far is my video on the worst way to play the G chord, which I will link in the description here so you can check that out, because in that video I do a deep dive into the way most people play a G chord on the guitar right up here like this, which I'm sure you know, and why that is so terrible, and I show you an alternate for that particular chord shape. But in this video I'm going to show you 5 more ways to play a G chord all up and down the guitar neck, and there are going to be some cool ways in here that I think you're going to like. And for this lesson I'm going to be using my gorgeous new Vola JZFRO offset guitar that I just got last week. And boy, if you want to see a whole video about this guitar and watch me unbox it, if you want to hear this thing really ring out and play some lead stuff, which is so much fun, then check out my unboxing video, which I will link in the description to this video too. Alright, so for the first G chord shape I'm going to show you today in this video, we're going to use all 4 of our fingers, and don't be scared, it's going to be cool. So we're going to take our middle finger and we're going to put that on our low E string right on the 3rd fret. We're going to take our index finger, we're going to put that right over here on our A string on the 2nd fret. Then we're going to take our ring finger, and you might have to practice scrunching in a little bit like this, but we're going to take our ring finger and we're going to put that on our 2nd to last string, which is the B string on our 3rd fret. And then we're going to take our pinky finger and we're going to put that on our high E string on the 3rd fret. And this is how it's going to sound. Now that might sound similar and look kind of similar to a G chord shape that you are used to playing like this with your ring finger all the way back here. But if you notice, playing the open B string gives it a whole different sound from playing the B string with your ring finger on the 3rd fret like that, and your pinky finger up there on the high E string at the 3rd fret. And that's really good for stuff like Matchbox 20, like sort of like, you know, 90s and 2000s rock sort of stuff. Subscribe to my channel for more than 60 free guitar lessons and for interviews with all kinds of amazing guitarists, a lot of whom you've heard of and some you might not have, but you really need to. Now the second way to play a G chord that I want to show you today is a power chord. And this is another really useful thing. You can check out my video called Do Power Chords Suck? And the answer is no, they do not. But check that out for a whole lot more on all of the mechanics of playing power chords. But just for the purpose of this video, I'll show you how to play a G power chord. So to play a G power chord, we're going to take, and I'll take the gain back off, we're going to be using just these 2 fingers. So we're going to take our index finger and we're going to put that on our low E string just on the 3rd fret. Then we're going to take our ring finger and we're going to put that on the next 2 strings over on the 5th fret. So on our A string at the 5th fret and on our D string at the 5th fret. And it's going to be just a short bar, but trust me, that is not going to be very hard to make. So this is how it's going to sound, and it's just these 3 notes. The root, the 5th, and then the root an octave up again. And that is a power chord. Now if you can't get your ring finger yet to go across both of those strings, then you can still play a power chord just by using the 2 lowest strings. So then just play those 2 lowest strings with your picking hand instead of all 3. Now the 3rd G chord shape I'm going to show you is one that I use a lot. I probably use this more than anything else now, especially for lead playing, because you can move this all the way up and down the neck. And it's basically a certain type of F chord shape, and don't get scared because the F chord is the hardest position to play this in. A G chord is much easier, so this is a great way to practice how to play an F chord, but you'll be playing a G chord because there's less tension on the 3rd fret than there is down at the 1st fret when you're trying to play an F chord. So how this works is you're going to take your index finger and you're going to put that across these highest 2 strings on the 3rd fret, and that's your high E string and your B string. Then you're going to take your middle finger and you're going to put that on the next string over, your G string, and that's going to be on the 4th fret. And then you're going to take your ring finger, last but not least, and you're going to put that 1 string over still on the D string, and that's going to be at your 5th fret. And this is how it's going to sound. Now this is one of those movable chords that I like so much, because you see how you can play a G with your index finger up here in that chord shape at the 3rd fret. I already told you, you can play the F, that's how you play an F chord, with your index finger down here starting at the 1st fret with that same shape. If you want to play an A, you go up to the 5th fret, and then an A sharp or B flat or a B or a C, or a C sharp and D flat, or a D. So if you see what I'm doing here, whatever major chord you want to play, like, you know, a G, an A, a B, a C, a D, an E, or an F, or any of the sharps or flats of those chords, you can play that using that same chord shape that I just showed you. Like this video so YouTube pushes it out to more people so they can learn from it too. Now the fourth way that I'm going to show you is a bar chord, the dreaded bar chord. If you don't know how to play a bar chord yet at all and you're struggling with bar chords, then check out all my videos on bar chords, because I have at least 5 or 6 of them showing all sorts of tips and tricks to help making bar chords easier. And I promise you will be able to play bar chords if you watch those videos and do the things that I'm showing in those videos. So I will link those in the description right here. But assuming you've got a little bit of knowledge of a bar chord, how you play a G bar chord is you're going to take this index finger and you're going to lay it right across your 3rd fret across all 6 strings. Then you're going to take your middle finger and you're going to put that on your G string on the 4th fret, so 1 fret up from where that bar is. Then you're going to take your ring finger and you're going to put that on your A string on the 5th fret. And then you're going to take your pinky finger and put that on the D string on the 5th fret. And that's your G bar chord. Now I want to show you something about this G bar chord though, because in talking about movable chords like I did a minute ago, the same is true for these bar chords. But also something else cool about this is look at that chord. What you're doing with your index finger is you're basically taking the nut of the guitar, where the strings go through right at the top of the fretboard, right by the headstock, and you're basically moving it up. So that way you can take this chord shape and you can play it anywhere on the neck. Now what chord shape is that? That is the E chord shape. So you probably know how to play an E like this with these 3 fingers. And let me see if I can get that on camera good, just to make sure that you can see what I'm doing. But you probably know how to play an E chord just like that. And if you don't, I have videos on that, so check those out on my channel too. But what you're doing is you're basically making that E chord shape, and you're using these 3 fingers for that E chord shape instead of these 3 fingers. And that is because you're moving the nut, essentially, of the guitar up using that bar. So that is an E chord shape bar chord to play a G chord. And comment on this video and tell me 2 things. Number 1, tell me which G chord shape that I played in this video that you like the best. And number 2, tell me what else you want to see in John's Guitar Lounge, because I love making videos that people want to see. Alright, so now last but not least, I'm going to show you the 5th and final way in this video to play a G chord. And this is going to be more for my lead players or people who like to do chord inversions and play stuff further up the neck. So this is pretty cool. Now, to play this, you can use any one of your fingers really, but I'm going to show you with my ring finger just because that's how I tend to do it, because if I'm doing something somewhere else up the neck, it's just easy for me to come right in here, and this is a G. So to play this, you're just going to be playing 3 strings, and you're going to be using just 1 finger. And it might take a little bit of practice to figure out how to do that, but just keep on trying it like this. One of my bar chord videos, actually at least 2 of my bar chord videos, give lots of tips and tricks for how to play 3 strings with 1 finger like this, with like this short bar. So check those out too, and I will put those in the description to this video too, so you can get all those tips if you're having trouble doing this. But all you're going to do to play a G chord up the neck like this is you're going to be up at your 12th fret, and you're going to take your ring finger. At least that's what I use. You can also do this with a middle finger or with an index finger, or even, God forbid, your pinky. And you're just going to be playing your D string, your G string, and your B string all on the same fret. And that is the triad. That's your G note, that is your D note, and that is your B note. So, and that's the same chord, if you hear it. That's got the 3 notes of the chord, just like that. Now here's a bonus tip. That thing I just showed you up the neck at the 12th fret, if you cannot play anything yet, if you can't play a single chord, if you can't make your fingers on the fretboard make a note come out at all, if you just can't do it yet, you can still play a G chord. And that is because what I just showed you up here at the 12th fret, the same is true with the 3 open strings. So literally, if you just play the 3 open strings, your D string, your G string, and your B string, that is a G chord as well. And spoiler alert, I'm going to be at the NAMM show again this coming January in 2025, so make sure you subscribe to my channel and stay tuned for all the cool stuff. But check out all the stuff from 2024 and 2023 on my channel too, because there's some really cool stuff there. Okay, everybody, that is the G chord revisited right here in John's Guitar Lounge. Subscribe to my channel, hit that little bell icon when you subscribe so you'll be alerted whenever I post a new video. Like this video so YouTube pushes it out to more people so they can learn from it too. And I will see you right here again in John's Guitar Lounge. Take care.